it's good to, I think it's good for us to know where everyone is coming from. And so I'd like to invite you to kindly please type in the chat box the school and city or province you are coming from, you are listening to us this afternoon from, following this session. Okay, please type in the chat box your school, the
Sure.
city and province that you come from. Okay, just those items so that we have an idea of where everyone is coming from. Great. So we have here already in the chat box, of course, a very big group from St. John's Institute in Bacolod. Welcome. Our friends from Philippine Women's University, main campus, from Caloocan City, PwC of Davao. Hello, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us. And of course, a lot of friends from Philippine Science High School, main campus in Quezon City. OLMK from Zamboanga City, all the way from Mindanao. Stella Maris Academy of Davao. Hello, welcome. Assumption College of Davao. Good afternoon, welcome. From Mercedarian, Zamboanga. Wow, we have a lot of friends, our fellow teachers coming from Mindanao. Welcome. Good afternoon to all of you. La Consolacion College, Manila. Hello. Stella Maris Academy of Davao. Yes, St. John's Institute of Bacolod City. Assumption College of Davao. Woodrow School, Muntinlupa. Our neighbor in South Ridge School, Alabang. Malayan High School of Science, Pandacan, Manila. Hello, good afternoon, welcome. A big group from Adamson University, Manila. Welcome. So nice to see you here. Immaculate Conception, University of the Immaculate Conception of Davao City. Hello. Yes. Mateo, Chair of St. Peter from Santa Rosa City, Laguna. Hello. Quezon City High School, St. Teresita's Academy, Holy Cross Academy, Digos City. Hello. Of course, our good friend, Ma'am Nelia Soriano from Adamson University. Welcome. Stella Maris Academy of Davao, St. John's Institute, Paco Catholic School, Meronol College of Panabo. Hello. Yes, Adamson University, Father Justin Rusolillo, School of Davao. Thank you for joining us. Stella Maris, great. JASEMS, PWU, Jose Abad Santos Memorial School, Veridiano Santo Niño Institute, Santo Niño Cagayan Valley, welcome. Philippine Science High School, Mimaropa Region Campus, welcome. From Woodrow's, from RVM, from St. Mary's College of Baliwag, Bulacan. Hello, La Consolacion College, Zamboanga City. Fantastic. Well, all three major parts of the Philippines covered: Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Our Lady of Mercy Kindergarten, Zamboanga. Hello, welcome. Immaculate Heart of Mary Academy of Mati City, Davao Oriental. St. Teresita's Academy of Silay City, Negros Occidental, San Vicente Institute. Fantastic, great. So nice to see all of you. Yes, our friends from Stonyhurst, Southville International School of Batangas City, UANP. Hello, welcome. My colleagues from UANP. I teach also there in the School of Education. Christian Ecclesiastical School of San Jose del Monte, Bulacan. Hi. Noble Minds Montessori of Pampanga. We have a big group from them. German European School of Manila. Welcome. Fantastic. Okay, well, I'll continue acknowledging our friends later. DLSU Manila, Malayan High School of Science. Good afternoon. Welcome. Colegio San Agustin Makati, a big group from them also. From La Union, Bright Beginnings Learning Center, San Fernando, La Union. Hello. De La Salzobel, a big group from DLSZ, Alabang. Welcome. Adamson University. Fantastic. Well, I'm not expecting any thunder and lightning today, so hopefully things will go far better than how it went yesterday. And I said I'm really very sorry for the technical difficulties. Anyway, we survived the first hour yesterday in the dark, and with data today, the weather looks good. There seems to be no trouble ahead of us, and so we are going to have a fantastic afternoon talking about a very important topic, which is creating a kind and caring classroom. I'd like to begin, like what we did yesterday, with a prayer for all of you teachers. And so um, because we need a lot of prayers these days, given the kind of situation we find ourselves in. I'd like to begin this session this afternoon with this prayer for all of you, dear teachers. This is for all of you.
A prayer for teachers. Giver of all wisdom and greatest of all teachers, look upon our teachers with love. Grant them the resolve to nurture our eager minds and to never give up on us who fall behind. Bless their hearts, for they rejoice when we succeed and encourage us when we fail. Endow them with gentle patience, for the path of learning is never easy. Kindle a spirit of passion in them. It is the flame that ignites the love of learning in us. Help them see the potential in each student. Their belief in us means much more than the grade we make. Instill in them a commitment to keep on learning. It shows us to not fear new knowledge and experiences. Inspire them to touch the future. They influence how big a dream we dream for ourselves. Bless our teachers who have come before, for their work endures to this day. Let the light of your example shine upon all teachers, to build up with their words, to love with their mind, to share with their heart. Amen.
Okay, well, that's a prayer for all of you, dear teachers, because we need a lot of prayers these days, given the challenges we're all facing. This is not new normal. While we call it new normal, there's really nothing normal about what we have to do, which is giving classes online, not being able to see our students face to face, not being able to um, give our lessons as we were trained to do in the schools of education. I mean, we were never trained to give our lessons online. Our training is we're there inside the classroom with our students, face to face, making a difference, impacting their lives. So that's the reason why all of us need all the prayers we can get, all the strengths we can get, all the inspirations we can get. Well, before I continue on with my presentation, because our topic is kind and caring classroom, I am not just dealing with screens. I'm not just dealing with numbers. We are now 203 in the gallery in the Zoom room, but you are all human beings I'm dealing with. And so I think it's proper that we greet people as we would greet human beings. So, hello to our friends from all over the Philippines. Um, I can see some names here. Eileen Sarmago, hello. Maria Sara, Shenaline, Mar Manaligod, Mail Rojas, Ross Melgar. I can rattle off all the names here, but I will lose a lot of time. And so please accept my warmest greetings to all of you. Thank you very much for joining us in this session today. And really, because we're good teachers. We want to reach out to everyone. We want to say hello to everyone. Okay. Now, some schools have asked me for attendance. Okay. I told them, well, I cannot really, with the total of 1,700 teachers of these 6 days, 7 days that we will be together, I will not be able to provide the concrete attendance sheets. But here's how Zoom works: the name you're using in your profile picture, the name you have in the profile will appear in the attendance report of Zoom. Okay? uh, Especially if you did not log in with your email. If you logged in to Zoom with your email address will appear in the Zoom report. If not, it's only your profile. Okay, let me see. We need to silence people. Your name, your if you didn't log in with your email address, it's your profile name that will appear in the Zoom report. Okay, so for the sake of your school that is asking for attendance folder, attendance sheet, I would like to request some here who have Oppo as their profile name, or uh, Vivo as your profile name. Kindly please change your profile name to your real name so that your school will be able to see your name in the attendance report of Zoom. Okay? The others, no problem, because your name appears there as it is. So no problem with you. Okay, so let's continue on. I was talking about, yes, we are talking about kindness and caring. And so a kind person would acknowledge people. And that's one strategy you already have, that as your students are coming into the room, acknowledge them. Hello, John. How are you today? Joey, welcome. Jean, I hope you had a good sleep last night. That kind of welcoming the students to your Zoom room. Okay. So that's a strategy. And no, it's not a waste of time, because we talked about that yesterday in the strategy of Hal Urban. In fact, I'm going to begin today's session right away with those strategies, talking about those things. No, so I introduced myself yesterday. I am Emmanuel Mannrentoy. If you're already in our Facebook page, then most likely you could have clicked on my because I appear there. I'm the one posting all the books, videos, reading materials, handouts. I will be posting a lot more today, later. And some of you may have clicked already on my name and looked over some of the things about me. Well, I am a graduate of the University of Santo Tomas with a double degree in AB, Journalism and Literature. I have an MA in Creative Writing and a PhD in Literature, all from the University of Santo Tomas. No? And I have not left the classroom. I've been a teacher for the last 34 years. I continue teaching. I only stopped when I went to Sri Lanka to spend a year there to spread the same message of character formation, the urgency of character formation. And the last 11 years, I have spent more time going around the Philippines and around the world, reaching out to teachers like you, to parents, to community leaders, championing character formation. That's why I brought to the Philippines CEP, Character Education Partnership. We are an international affiliate of CEP based in Washington, D.C., US. They renamed themselves to character.org. And I also am affiliated with, I'm the president, founder, and executive director now of the Center for the Fourth and Fifth Arts Asia. We are an affiliate of Center for the Fourth and Fifth Arts, based in the State University of New York, Cortland, USA. And Well, there's a question here. Will the webinar today be uploaded at Facebook? Yes, this time around, this whole presentation will be uploaded there later. Well, at least the link to the video recording of this. And I'm hoping we will not encounter technical difficulties as we did yesterday. So this is going to appear there in the Facebook page. Okay. Center for the fourth and fifth hours. Our principle is every human being, aside from knowing reading, writing, arithmetic, should have respect and responsibility. Respect and responsibility, the fourth and fifth hours, founded by Dr. Thomas Licona. That's why sometimes we are also known as the Dr. Thomas Licona Institute for Asia. Dr. Thomas Licona is a very good friend of mine. He is considered the grandfather of character formation in the world because most of the experts in the world now on character formation, he was the one who recruited them to make character formation as their top priority and as their advocacy. Okay, well, I would have wanted to show this video to you yesterday, but it was around this time when there was thunder, there was lightning, and then there was brownout. So I couldn't show this video to you. But now I can show it, and you should see it because it is our way of saying thank you, dear teachers. Kasi kahit pandemic, you continue teaching. Kahit lockdown, you continue teaching. Kahit hindi kayo magaling online, you insisted on continuing to teach because you care, because you are concerned that these young people continue learning in spite of the situation we find ourselves in. That makes all of you frontliners as well. And if no one has said yet to you, thank you, dear teachers, for all your hard work. Well, let's begin this session on kind and caring classroom by saying, teachers, thank you for all the hard work you do, for all the sacrifices you do, because you continue to teach, even if things are not as easy. I'd like to share this video with you to express that gratitude. Okay, that video is for all of you, dear teachers. Thank you for being at the front line. Thank you for not quitting in spite of the difficulties. As I said, really, come to think of it, we were not trained for that. That's not our training. And yet, we continue to teach. We continued trying to make a difference in the lives of our students. So let's talk about creating a kind and caring classroom. Yesterday, we spent a lot of time talking about being men and women of character, that the only way we can form the character of our students and teach character is to do the example of our life. That's why Albert Einstein is correct. Try not to become a man of success, a man or woman of success, but rather try to become a man or woman of value. That is more worthwhile. That is more important. Especially so since yesterday we spent a lot of time looking at the crisis in character, especially of the young people today. They are going through a certain crisis. The young people are not as kind and caring as you and I were when we were younger. They are not as courteous. They are not as nice. That is according to research. Empathy is at its lowest in the history of mankind. Pride, self centeredness, selfishness at an all time high. This selfie mentality was never there before. So let's take a look at a little bit of the crisis. Research says while we may be producing smart, self assured, confident generation of young people, today's kids are also the most self centered and stressed out on record. And it's true, you and I, who have been inside the classroom for decades, we have seen the difference. We have seen how these young people today are more confident, are more aggressive even. They will even fight for their freedom, for their rights. I mean, the kind of fighting for their rights that we didn't see in the past. Okay? And then there is a certain culture of hate that is prevalent, prevailing in the mindset of many young people. Um, you see this in the way they post things online, the way they contribute to the bashing, for example. Yung every now and then, you see this viral posts where you condemn a certain person for what he did, what she did, the scandal that he got involved in, the and then everybody thinks everyone has the right to condemn the person and posting things they will never say to the person face to face. And then there is this glorification of the vulgar. You go to Spotify and top 10 songs right now, top 10 songs, 8 of them you will hear about sex and F words and profanities and bad words, explicit language. You go to Netflix and you will see there the blockbuster videos right now, and many of them will have movies that contain a lot of profanities, a lot of vulgar words, vulgar language, if not vulgar scenes, vulgar um, videos, or that talk about adultery and that talk about infidelity. So in the environment, there is a certain glorification of what is vulgar and what is immoral and what is bad and what is even unacceptable. And yet those are the things that the young people are subjected to. Well, we mentioned this earlier, the thrill of viral bashing, and um, people will comment, share, like, heart something that they did not even read, perhaps fully, an article they didn't read, and then they contribute to the bashing. Well, this was never there before because there was no social media 20 years ago. There was no personal cell phone and personal computer 25 years ago. You remember? There was a time before when only the very rich could afford a cell phone or the computer. Now everyone has. And therefore, we all have these possibilities of spending our whole day immersed in our technology, in our gadget, in our social media, in our personal cell phone or computer. That is contributing to this kind of mindset, this kind of attitude. Reality check. Teenagers are now 40% lower in empathy levels than 3 decades ago. And in the same period, narcissism, self centeredness, vanity, Pride has increased 58%. That's a crisis. That's why tomorrow we will continue talking about empathy and what can we do to develop empathy among the kids? What can we do to address this crisis in empathy? And all these are contributing to this. If not suicide, we read about depression. I mean, when I was beginning teacher, we didn't have to have seminars on how to detect depression among our students, right? I mean, we did not have to worry about suicide among our students, among our grade school or high school students. Now, schools are scampering to look for seminars to give to their teachers on how to go about dealing with a student going through depression or entertaining suicidal thoughts. Now, we cannot just rely on the guidance counselors to do the job. All of us will have to be on the lookout for students who may be showing signs of hurting themselves, slashing their wrist, and thinking about suicide. This is a new phenomenon. This was not there before. Now, in the United States, here are some of the responses that they put in or that they have in the face of all these crises. And some of us are falling into the same trap. They say, "Oy, let's put CCTVs and catch those bullies and catch those people who cheat and copy and CCTVs, high-tech cameras, video cams that we install inside the classroom, along the corridor, at the entrance of the school in order to catch those." Like as if that's going to solve the crisis. Like as if that is going to solve the problem of character. Worse, here is what some schools are doing, and in the Philippines, some universities have started doing the same thing. Let us install metal detectors at the entrance of the gate. Like as if that is going to solve the crisis. Well, unfortunately, for some parents, their solution is, why will I enroll my kid in that school to be bullied? I might as well just homeschool him. I might as well just do the teaching and I won't have to pay tuition. And like as if that's their solution to the crisis of character, empathy, suicidal thoughts, depression, and bullying and viral. So uh, there is only one way to solve this crisis, and that is character formation. Therefore, teachers, if you are not ready to be kind and caring with your example, if you're not ready to model kindness and that caring attitude, the Chinese proverb says, you better not teach. You better not open a shop. A man without a smiling face must not open a shop. The same thing applies for teachers who are supposed to teach kindness and caring to our students with our example. If you cannot be kind, if you cannot be caring, if you have a temper where you cannot control your shouting and screaming and yelling, or worse, cursing, using profane language, profanities, you're not cut out for the teaching profession, especially of this generation of kids today. We have to be the models of kindness and caring if we are to create a kind and caring classroom. In order to reduce bullying, it is important to change the social climate of the school and the social norms regarding bullying. This requires the efforts of everyone in the school environment: teachers, administrators, school nurses, other non-teaching staff like the bus drivers, custodians, cafeteria ladies selling there, serving food, and or school librarians, parents and students. It's got to be the work of everyone if we are to succeed in changing the environment, in creating a kind and caring classroom, in a kind and caring school. All of us will have to be involved. Research says Student achievement increases when students feel comfortable in their learning environment. That's very important. Student achievement increases when students feel comfortable in their learning environment. Gentleness and kindness will make our homes a paradise upon earth. And the same thing, gentleness and kindness will make our classroom a paradise upon earth. And I'm not just talking about face to face classroom here, even in the Zoom room, in the Google Classroom, in the Microsoft, even in that virtual room, gentleness and kindness will be what will make our room, our classroom, a paradise upon earth. So we have to train our teachers in the first place to to model kindness and caring, and then to have that control over their temper, their passion. Because I've met teachers like that who think that the more they shout and scream, the higher standard they have of discipline. And no, it doesn't work that way. As you're going to see in the session we have on classroom management, there are ways of being able to manage the class without us ever having to resort to shouting, screaming, and yelling. Let's learn those strategies and let's use them so that the young students that we have in our classroom, in our virtual classroom, will have a beautiful day every single day that we have them in our classroom. Okay, so let's work on it. It's worthwhile. And in the end, as you're going to see, there's no other way except to see to it, to work hard, to systematically put in place certain things so that that classroom of ours is a kind and caring place. If students don't have empathy, and this is the problem now, as I'm going to explain in the session, I think tomorrow on grit, resilience, and empathy, the reason why empathy is at its lowest in the history of mankind is because we have students now who can be spending the whole day in front of the screen of the computer, the screen of the laptop, the screen of the cell phone. They are not dealing with other kids. They can be spending the whole day in front of the computer, especially now with this lockdown. Kids are not allowed to go out. So they have less time interacting with other human beings, with other kids, and therefore they are not learning how to deal properly with other people unless if the parents at home, if the siblings at home are taught kindness, caring, empathy. So it's a crisis that is becoming a major one because look at this, with a crisis in empathy, that hurts students' academic performance. That can lead to bullying behaviors. That can lead to more cheating. The students become less resilient. They have, they are unable to collaborate with other people. They are unable to innovate and they are unable to solve problems. These, according to research, are effects of crisis in empathy that we are seeing in the world today. So then, you came here because you want to see strategies. You want to know concrete things. What can we do concretely tomorrow in the very next class we have so that we are able to win the war, to create a kind and caring classroom? Well, I'll share you a diagram from Dr. Thomas Licona. If we are to win the war, we have to be systematic and even scientific about it. We have to create not just a kind and caring classroom, but we have to create a kind and caring school. We're going to look at, well, actually, we're going to go into detail of these, into concrete details of this diagram in the session in June on creating a kind and caring school, preventing bullying through character formation. But Many of the principles I'm going to share now are also based on these 12 principles of Dr. Thomas Licona in school-wide and classroom-wide strategies or classroom strategies to create a kind and caring classroom. Let's get right away into strategies, okay? I know you are looking for very concrete things. Yesterday, these were the last strategies we looked at. I know some of you were not with us yesterday, but I posted the link in the Facebook page of the recording of the same presentation I gave on urgency of character formation. You can access it in the Facebook page. I'm going to share again with you later where to find that Facebook page. But we talk about how urban strategies of welcoming everyone inside this classroom with a handshake or with a fist bump, or with a high five, or with a hug. Okay, some of us were saying maybe that's not for me. I'm not the touchy kind of guy. Well, okay, I'm going to share another form of that strategy where you assign one of the students every day. Somebody is assigned to do the welcoming for everyone. I'm going to show a video of that in a while. But the principle behind that is this from George Isaac Brown: do not forget, or do not allow the demands of your job to cause you to forget that each one of your students is a feeling, thinking human being. For education to be effective, it must be personal. That's why in the beginning of this presentation, I had to put down the screen and then try to greet and reach out to all of you. Because as I said, I am not just dealing with screens. I'm dealing with human beings in this seminar. We are all here in this Zoom room, all 246 of us, and every single one is a thinking, feeling human being that needs to be acknowledged, because the deepest urge the deepest urge in human nature is the desire to be important. With that eye contact, with a shaking of hands and smiling. Now, I was saying earlier, some of you may be thinking, Mr. Rentoy, that's not me. Yung mga shaking hands, I don't like it. Okay, then follow the example of this teacher where she appoints a student to do the welcoming for the others inside the classroom every day. This is an example.
Good morning, Asher Bills.
That's a very nice way of doing it. Somebody is in charge of welcoming the students to the classroom. In schools of character in the United States, one of the fantastic things that some of those schools do, in fact, is they get parent volunteers. Parent volunteers to act as welcoming committee, standing at the gates, at the entrance of the school, just to welcome the students as they come inside the classroom. And it makes a big difference. It continues to make a big difference when you have a situation like that. Well, right now we are in this situation where we cannot even go to the classrooms, but yes, you can still do it in a Zoom room, in a Google Classroom, where one person is assigned to greet everybody, to welcome them as they are coming in to the room, and perhaps even coming up with a gimmick to get everybody feel welcome or feel at home or feel relaxed, or to break the ice, in short. No? Well, in fact, I'm going to share that with you as one of the strategies of Hal Urban, the Fantastic Four. He has these four things to do every single day as a way of setting the tone. I mentioned the second thing that Hal Urban does is to teach manners and the golden rule. To teach manners and the golden rule. Um, from Batangas, no? Stony Hertz, I think, Miss Emily. We do that in our school. The principal and a teacher team every day makes the students feel great as they enter the campus. You see, from experience, they can tell you it works. It works. Even just the simple thing of welcoming the students at the start of the day, that sets the tone. It sends a clear message to everyone. Welcome to a kind and caring school. Welcome to a kind and caring environment, territory. So here's the daily four of Hal Urban. Um, you can do four every day, as he would do all these four every day, or you can choose one of these daily four and do it every day. So what is that daily four? To start the class, and you can still do it online. You tell the students, okay, choose a partner, and then you will have 1 minute each to share good news. 30 seconds, one student will share good news to the other, and the other 30 seconds, the other student will share good news, whatever good news it is, at home, in school, with friends, even just a simple thing of good news. I finally finished level 26 of this game that I'm playing. Good news, I finally finished this book that I've long been wanting to read. Good news, I finally got to watch this movie that everyone is talking about and I liked it or I didn't like it. So, whatever it is, in the case of Hal Urban, he in fact noticed, realized, after a certain point, the students get so much into this, they start even sharing intimate good news. My father left us last December and he came back last night and I'm so happy. I mean, such good news like that, so intimate, so personal, and yet they're so excited to share it because they become so at home with this idea of sharing good news with each other. Or, second of the daily four, tell about someone or something that you are grateful for, whether it is your parents, your friends, your relative, your classmate, whatever it is. Tell about someone or something that you are grateful for. Number three, affirm someone in class. John, I notice you really are studying so hard. It is beginning to show in your quizzes. You are going up in your average. Good job, keep it up. That's what it means. Affirming someone in class. It may take a bit of effort to look for that person or those persons that we will affirm, but it works. It helps a lot. It changes the atmosphere, it changes mindsets, it creates precisely what we have been talking about, a kind and caring classroom. Number four, make us laugh. Just make sure that the joke is wholesome, clean. So to start the class, the Hal Urban will begin that way. Anyone has a joke, a clean joke to share for the others? And the students start getting into it. They start preparing and actually looking for jokes to share with our class. And a class that starts with laughter because of a wholesome, a clean joke, that changes the air. I mean, it really totally changes the atmosphere. Those are the daily four of Hal Urban. You can choose one or do all the four in every subject, whether online or face to face. It works. It helps a lot in creating a different atmosphere. Here is how Hal Urban spends day one. Okay? I'd like to share this, especially because um, many of you may actually be now thinking of the next school year. Okay, so this is how what he does on day one. He, aside from the usual welcoming them to the classroom, aside from getting to know each other, those icebreaker things to get the class, know the students, etc. This is what he does. He tells the class, okay, class, can you describe to me the kind of classroom you do not like? The kind of classroom with students that you do not like. People will start raising their hands. They will say, sir, I don't like a classroom with rude students. You write it on one side of the board. What else? Somebody will say, I don't like students who are inconsiderate. Write it on the board, in that column. What else? I don't like disrespectful students. You write it on the board. I don't like to hear offensive language. Write it on the board. You write all these things down on the left side of the room, of the board. Okay? Now, um, how about a classroom that you like to be in? What kind? Can you describe to me a classroom that you like to be in? People will start raising their hands. They will say, I want a classroom where students are courteous. You write that, you write that list on the other side of the board. Courteous, considerate, respectful, polite, with humor, with kindness. You write all those things down on the board. After making these two sets, these two lists, you tell the class, okay, class, these lists came from you, not from me. You were the one, you were the ones who described the classroom you don't like and the classroom you like. Can we now commit ourselves on this day one of this school year that we're going to be together for 200 class days? Can we commit ourselves to not allow these things, rudeness, inconsiderateness, disrespect, offensive language? Can we commit ourselves that we will not allow these inside our classroom? And can we commit ourselves that we will create this kind of classroom? These two lists will now find their way in two posters. Two posters. One poster that says, the classroom we don't like. You put it on one side of the board or on one side of the room. And then the classroom that we like, you put it on one side of the room. Now, here's how it works. The next time you hear someone being rude, no need to say anything. Just point to the poster, which tells the students, I mean, without even saying a word, it's like you're saying, hey, stop being rude. Didn't we commit ourselves at the start of the school year? Didn't you yourselves say that you don't like a rude classroom? But you're not saying anything. You just point to the poster, and eh, the whole thing comes to the mind of the student. The next time you hear somebody using a foul language, a bad word, a profanity, no need to get angry, no need to get upset, no need to say anything. Just say, John, and then point to the poster, which says, didn't you say you don't like a classroom with offensive language? So please don't say it. So it works. It works. The this idea of putting in place certain things that the students themselves come up with this list. The students themselves were the ones who said they don't like, they like, and then the poster, that makes your job easier. I mean, it prevents you from then having to um, say too many things, and just it becomes enough to just point to the poster, and you are able to deliver the message you want to get across. Okay, so big idea number one, your strategies should be high quality, comprehensive approach to character education. You cannot just do character formation through posters. You cannot do character formation just through um, orientation at the start of the school year, and then you don't have anything anymore for the rest of the school year. We have to be comprehensive, and we have to have high quality. And that's what I'm going to share with you from here. That's why this diagram of Dr. Thomas Licona precisely is meant to be high quality, comprehensive, including all aspects of school life inside the classroom and outside. But as I said, this is more for preventing bullying to the character formation. What we are more interested in now is the looking for strategies inside the classroom that we can use. Okay? And we are able to do that by, well, if we are able to create a kind and caring classroom, that effectively creates a whole school climate And it does matter because we see from studies, from research, that bullying is strongly related to overall school climate. Bullying decreases when school climate improves and when students have greater voice and responsibility for solving problems and making decisions that improve their school. That's why we need to look into this. How can we create a kind and caring classroom? How can we empower the students? How can we get the parents involved? And how can we get the staff, non-teaching staff, non-academic staff, owning the idea of creating a kind and caring classroom, creating a strong, healthy school climate? It's in your hands. We can do it. As I'm going to share with you now concrete strategies, you're going to see, oh, that's true. Why didn't we start that from the very beginning? Why didn't we do it from the very beginning? Okay, so let us proceed. Um, we need to do this in a special way because most schools observe school bullying has become worse in this past few years. And boy, the physical bullying especially is so bad. You have now cases of students even resorting to suicide or being afraid to go to school. And then cyberbullying. I mean, 15 years ago, we didn't have to have policies on cyberbullying, right? But now, DepEd tells us you should have policies regarding cyberbullying. So this is something new. This is something that was not there before. So then, look at what the mother wrote. Children remind me of chickens seeking out the weak and wounded and pecking them to death. They have discovered that my 9-year-old son, who is autistic, is bothered by loud noises, and they scream and whistle in his ear until he cries. You see, we have now parents who are like this, dealing with their kids suffering, and worse, in silence because of bullying. This is painful. I know many of you are also parents, and I know many of you are also saying, no one has the right to take away someone's happiness. My son, my daughter should never ever have to suffer bullying, should never ever have to go through bullying. Research says when students are victims of peer cruelty, it affects their learning. It disrupts their social and moral development. It makes school a miserable experience. It causes some to seek revenge, and it causes others to become depressed and even suicidal. That is happening. Here is an 8th grade girl's suicide note to her parents. She said, all my life I have been teased. I love you very much, but I just couldn't stand it anymore. That was her suicide note written for her to her parents. I mean, this is painful to read, and yet it's happening. It's happening. Once and for all, let us make sure our classroom is a kind and caring place. Let us make sure no student would ever have to suffer like that in silence. And I'm not talking about American situation. I'm not talking about cases in the United States. I'm talking about Philippine setting. We read of news like this: DepEd grieves death of student suicide victim, bullying blamed for Batangas teens suicide. I mean, this is happening in our country, here, in a Christian nation like the Philippines. Cyberbullying pushes 12-year-old Phil to commit suicide. So I'm not just talking about um, cases happening in other countries. It is happening here in our own um, country? Well, U.S. Secret Service study shows that two-thirds of the student shooters in the United States had been bullied by fellow students. The same is the case for the Columbine massacre. Two boys who were bullied and they fought back by killing. Uh, Before they killed themselves, they first killed 28 other students. In fact, in the end, there were 32 who died in that massacre in Columbine. And the same thing happened in Virginia Tech, and the same thing happened in Sandy. All those um, cases of shootings that we read about. Peer exclusion in kindergarten is associated with lower academic achievement in later grades. Even observing someone else being bullied can lower a student's academic performance. So, here now, let's get straight to strategies. What can we do? According to the research, you stand a better chance of success in creating a kind and caring classroom if you have these three: staff involvement, student involvement, and parent involvement. Let's talk about staff. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to show that video to you in a while as our break. But let's go straight into the strategy, how to get staff involved. And as I repeat what I said earlier, by staff here, we mean everyone in the school, including the ladies selling in the cafeteria, the security guard, the school bus drivers, the janitors, maintenance men. Everyone has got to be involved in creating a kind and caring classroom. How do we get everyone involved? Dr. Thomas Licona tells us, create a touchstone. You know what a touchstone is? It's like a battle cry. It's like it's like um, how we do things here in our school. That you get everyone involved in crafting it, or if it is already crafted, then you get everyone to sign and say, I am a teacher of this school. I live by this vision. I live by this principle. I live by this touchstone. I am a bus driver of this school, a school bus driver. I live by these principles. I live by this touchstone, this pledge. And you can even get everybody to assemble every Monday morning and raise their right hand to repeat the touchstone, the vision, the pledge, the this is how we do things here in our school. So, develop a school touchstone, which is like our way, written, preferably it is crafted by representatives from all the different um, people in the school. Somebody represents the teachers, somebody represents the administration, somebody represents the academic staff, somebody represents the non-academic staff, somebody can even be made, one of the student leaders can even be made part of the team that will craft this touchstone. In many cases, the, you don't have to start from scratch. In many cases, this is already an expression of the school's mission vision. But you put it in a touchstone form, in a pledge form, in a like a credo, mantra, or summarized form that when people recite it, it summarizes what we stand for as a school, the core values, the what we value most in our school. Here's an example: the Northridge Way, a school in the United States. And imagine the whole school, teachers, students, non-academic staff, assembled on Monday morning, and they raise their right hand and they repeat this Northridge Way. At Northridge School, we pursue excellence and in scholarship and character. We celebrate and honor each other by being respectful, honest, kind, and fair. We give our best inside and outside the classroom. This is who we are, even when no one is watching. And they get to memorize this as they keep on repeating it because they see it in a tarpaulin. They see it posted in the on the teacher's desk. They see it posted inside every classroom. They see it posted at the entrance of the school. It's everywhere. It is very visible. That is our touchstone. This is how we do things here in our school. The Roosevelt way. Here is another example. There's a way that students here are expected to act and the way that they are expected not to act. That's it. That's the way they express their way. And then the teachers make sure they get to discuss during the orientation at the start of the school year, and for the parents, for the teachers, and for the students, what is it? How are we expected to act? What are our core values? What are the things that we value most as a school? So here are 4 things that are important in the touchstone implementation. Number 1, visibility. It has got to be clearly spelled out, printed, posted, visible everywhere. And even better if you make the students, the teachers, the parents even, the staff together in an assembly recite it on a regular basis, every Monday morning, every Friday afternoon before you let them go for their weekend. Visibility displayed in all classrooms and included in all school documents, the student's handbook, the parent's handbook, a memo sent out to the parents. Here's the second thing important about the touchstone. Teachers have to make connections with a touchstone when teaching their subject area. For example, one of the core values is kindness. And the teacher will have to make sure, class, if Tom Sawyer were a student in our school, in this chapter, would he have lived the touchstone? Would he have been a good example of the touchstone? Would he have been sent to the principal's office for sanction? In other words, the touchstone is not just principles. We make connections with the things that we teach our students inside the classroom. Then, discipline. When disciplining students, we make reference to the touchstone. John, I heard you teasing your classmate. Come on, tell me, is that consistent with our touchstone? Is that consistent with our core values? Is that so? Even in disciplining, the teachers are making connection with the touchstone. Remember, you are carrying the name of the school. You know, when we talk about school's mission, vision, when we talk about classroom management and creating a culture, this is very important. Teachers should be able to tell the students, class, I expect best behavior because you're carrying the name of the school. If teachers are able to say that, that means you have a culture of excellence, you have a culture of ethics. If you are able to say, class, be in your best behavior because you're carrying the name of the school, which means that you're implying that the name of the school is equal to whatever core values you have. And the same thing applies to teachers. Here's what a good teacher will say. Okay, class, we're going to join the school-wide assembly. Okay, I expect best behavior. Not because I'm going to punish, not because I'm offering a reward, but because you're carrying the name of our class. That's how to create a culture for your class, a culture of kindness, caring, discipline, self-control, that it assumes that you have already talked about all those values. That's why you can say, class, I expect best behavior in the school-wide assembly later because you're carrying the name of the class. Okay, we will talk especially more about that in the session on class advisory. And number 4, touchstone implementation will be effective if you make sure that every new student that comes to your school is oriented about what we stand for as a school, what our touchstone is, how we do things here in this school. Uh, from the very beginning, when students are oriented, new students, they have to hear from you. This is how we do things here in our school. This is how we live our life here in this school. When you're able to say things like that, that means your touchstone is very clear. So, one good way to prepare for the new school year is to draft, if you don't have that yet, a pledge, a summary of your school values, and put in pledge form. If you don't have that yet, you have the whole summer break to craft it, and better yet, to involve students, alumni, parents, non-academic staff. Um, Involving them doesn't mean they have to all attend the meetings in crafting it, that they have to have a say in every word that comes into that pledge. It simply also means that before you launch it, you send you send it out to everyone, informing them that the team has come up with this pledge that we will make as the touchstone of our school. We will appreciate your feedback, or we will appreciate inputs from you. If you don't have suggestions, then kindly affix your signature to indicate that you are okay with the touchstone. So with that, everyone is involved in approving, not necessarily in crafting, but in approving. But who knows, some of them may actually be able to give fantastic contributions, inputs, insights, and that enriches even more your touchstone. I repeat, this does not have to be just the face-to-face setup. We can create this touchstone to begin the new school year, whether it is online or face-to-face. Most likely, most of your schools already have in place this touchstone or your core values. And it's just a matter now of putting it in a pledge form, or in a something that you can make them recite. And then it has to be part of the ongoing professional development of the teachers, of the non-teaching staff, of the parents even also. Okay, so then I have been talking for an hour, and I think it is good for us to have a bit of a break. And so I'd like to, well, just as a way of giving all of you a break, some of you may need to get your water, you may need to go to the washroom. You can take advantage now of that time, of this time, while I show 2 or 3 videos just to give us a bit of a break.
Still my soul, the Lord is on thy side. In every change he faithful will remain. Thy God will undertake to guide the future as he has the past. Be still my soul, be still my soul, be still my soul, be still my shade. Oh, now mysterious shall be bright at last. Be still now, my soul, the ways and winds still know His voice to rule them while He dwelt below. Be still, my soul, be still, my soul, be still, my soul, be still, my soul, be still, my soul. The Lord is on thy
Okay, I think that was a good enough rest for all of us, and we're ready for more strategies. We just covered the first part, the staff involvement. Now we will go to the other parts. Well, I mentioned earlier about visibility. Um, and this is the kind of visibility that we want to see, that your school really is a kindness zone, that you uh, proclaim it, no, to anyone who enters your school. I mean, anybody who goes inside your school will know, wow, this school gives premium, puts premium on kindness, on hard work, on empathy, on so whatever it is. But it is visible, it's palpable, even that any visitor who comes inside your school cannot but conclude, wow, these are the core values of this school. And that's one of the things we do in Catalyst, in the Center for the Fourth and Fifth Hours. We do school accreditation of schools of character, which in fact is what we're going to discuss on Monday next week. um, we elevate schools that are able to uh, really embody eight, at least 8 of the 11 criteria, 8 of the 11 principles of schools of character. And there are now 6 in the Philippines that have been accredited, that have been elevated. We did the last elevation, or the last recognition, when Dr. Thomas Licona himself came to the Philippines in 2019. And he spent time giving a session in Cebu, Davao, and in Manila. Okay, so your school could be the next one. If you think you are a school of character, I was reading through the chats in the chat box, and there are some of you precisely who already have been doing this pledge or touchstone or school values. And as I mentioned, I'm not surprised that there are actually many schools already that have this in place. Perhaps not just systematically, or not just um, as a comprehensive way to create a school culture, but you are already there. You already have some of those things in place. Okay, so staff involvement will happen if you have a touchstone that everyone commits himself to, that you get everyone to pledge to live by. And that's what I see, when I visit schools, especially for this school recognition. That's most likely what you are expected to see. The school's mission, vision, and core values plastered all over the place, at the entrance, at the corridor, at the entrance of every building, inside the classroom. And even better is, as I said, if once a week or even more often, the whole school gathers in a school-wide assembly in order to do that pledge. Now let's go to student involvement. How can you get the students involved in creating a kind and caring classroom? Okay, this one is from Dr. Thomas Licona's book, Character Matters, which, let me tell you, is one of the landmark books on character formation, on character building. This is the book that is responsible for recruiting many of the experts in the field today, like Dr. Michelle Borba, like Hal Urban, like Ron Clark himself, even. I'm going to be talking about them also when we talk about class advisory and classroom management. Character Matters by Dr. Thomas Licona. And here is one of his suggestions on how to get students involved. I forgot to mention that that is a story of a kid who transferred to another school because he was being bullied in that previous school. And that is his first day in that school. Guess what he's going to tell his parents when he got home that day? He's going to excitedly tell his parents about how welcomed he was in that school, because this bullying is a problem of the students. They have to be the ones to make it to find ways to solve the problem. Okay, so how then do you make the students involved in creating a kind and caring classroom? Hold class meetings, make the class meet about the problems, the whatever problems that are inside the classroom. Make the class meet about how can we create a kind and caring classroom. What can we do so that the atmosphere changes, so that the atmosphere becomes one of welcoming and kindness and caring and loving, and that they are going to be happy to be there. Or whatever problems there may be, yes, as our friend Emily posted here, empower the students because they are the ones who should be, in the first place, be solving this problem. I got to attend a conference once in Washington, D.C., and there were 3 days of 30 talks we attended. The speaker, the last speaker said, there are so many strategies you heard these past 3 days. If there is only one and only one that you're going to bring home and make sure you do, it is this: hold class meetings. Okay? Hold class meetings. Make the students discuss. And that is how to empower them. That is how to pass on the problem to them and make them look for solutions. Now, some of you, that's why we're going to talk about this also when we tackle class advisory. The class advisory is a perfect venue to hold class meetings. But whatever subject you're handling, every now and then, it's okay to, okay, class, I will not continue with the lecture because there is a very urgent topic that I need you to discuss. And what is that, ma'am? Half of you are failing in my quizzes. Let's meet and discuss and talk about what is the problem. Why are so many of you not doing well in the quizzes? And make them speak up. For all you know, you are the problem. For all you know, it's your textbook that is a problem. For all you know, it's your quiz itself that is a problem. And that is how we empower the students. But in doing that, in meeting about that problem, you have passed on the problem to them and the task of finding solutions. Besides, you're telling them, I need you to work on this because I want all of you to do well in my class. I want you to all do well in my subject. Okay, so there are many different types of meetings. Here are 20 different types of class meetings according to Dr. Thomas Licona, and many of them are precisely geared towards empowering the students. For example, good news meeting. It doesn't have to be about a problem. It's just about, okay, let's open the floor for this class meeting. Share a good news about the class, about the subject, about grades, about whatever it is. Share good news. And then you empower everyone because you allow everybody to contribute. No putting downs. I mean, you can set the parameters that no putting downs, no heckling, no laughter let everybody speak up. Everyone will be given a chance to share a good news. And let's allow everybody to speak. So only 15 seconds per person. And then we pass on to the next. We will get back to you if there is something that needs to be discussed. That's like also a circle whip. A circle whip is like this. You will write an incomplete sentence on the board and you will ask the students to complete it, and everyone will have the chance to complete the sentence or the statement. For example, here, something I like about this class. Okay, class, our meeting today is completing this sentence. Something I think would make our class better is this. And then everyone will have to be given the chance. And that shouldn't take more than 5 seconds per student to be able to express. No shooting down of ideas, no objections. Just let everybody speak up. A decision I think we should make is this. And then let everybody think. For all you know, you don't realize there is something very urgent in the mind of majority of the students. I'm wondering why, and then let them continue it. Something that bothers me, and then let them continue it. I wish. So that is a a circle whip, which, well, like what Miss Emily mentioned there, is empowering the students, giving everyone a voice, a chance to speak up. Okay, so number 3 here in the list is appreciation time. Just, okay, class, we will have 10 minutes for the class meeting, just to appreciate, to express appreciation for somebody or something, and then let everybody speak up. Maybe you will say, for today, only 10 will be given the chance to speak up. We will allow the others to have their turn tomorrow when we do the next 10 minutes of meeting or something like that. No, but um, the idea here is to give the students a voice, an opportunity to express themselves, an opportunity to express something positive or a concern or a worry or a problem. And then let's find solutions to those problems. Complement time. In fact, I will talk about this also as a strategy to create an atmosphere. I think it will come later on. I'll tackle the compliments game. At the start of the school year, the meeting of the class is about goal setting. Okay, class, what will be our goals for this year? About academics, about extracurriculars, about um, competitions. What will be our goals? And then let people contribute and discuss, and then agree, and then vote. Let's vote on it. What will be the top 3 goals? Among these so many that have been recommended or suggested by your classmates, what would we make us 3 top 3 goals of the class? Number 6, rule setting meeting. Let's set the rules. I mean, for our class meetings, no put downs, no profanity, no insulting, no nothing that will hurt or harm another person. So those are the rules, and the students have to be the ones to come up with these rules. No? Or rule setting meeting about the practices or rehearsals for the declamation contest. Let's meet about it. And then after a month or so, let's meet about how are the rules being lived, the rule evaluating meeting, the stage setting meeting, the feedback and evaluation meeting, reflections on learning meeting. Let's continue on with the list. Just the title of the meeting will give you an idea. Ay, oo nga, there are so many things that we can do in our class meetings. There are so many ways by which we can give the students a voice, a power, by which we can empower the students. Problem solving meeting is one of the most frequent meetings we should have. Class, I received complaints from the other teachers about our noise during recess. Let's find solution. Let's come up with a solution to this problem. I don't like teachers complaining about you, your discipline, your noise level, etc. And then let them solve it. Let them come up with possible solutions. Academic issues. Class, I received feedback that a number of you are doing poorly in the math quizzes and tests. Let's discuss it. What can we do? Do we need mentoring? Do we need buddy system? Do we need to invite the teacher to give us a special class, a review class? Do we need to put together our minds to come up with the best notes and share whatever it is? Let's look for solution to these issues. Classroom improvement meeting. a follow-up meeting on any of the meetings that we've had in the past. So all these meetings are meant to create a caring classroom. You want to do these meetings because you care enough for everyone to do well, to succeed, to feel at home, to feel welcome, not to feel bullied. I mean, not to feel like he is a victim of bullying. All these are meant to create a kind and caring classroom. And moreover, you are empowering the students. You are passing on the problem to them and for them to come up with solutions. Planning meeting, concept meeting. Let's meet about um, the Buwan ng Wika celebration. And we have to come up with a production number. We have to come up with our contest piece. What will be our concept? That's a concept meeting. That's a planning meeting. Sticky situations, suggestion box or class business box meeting on meetings. So there are so many meetings to do that we cannot say there's nothing to discuss with my students. All these are meant to empower them. All these are meant to make the students involved because this is the main point of number 2, student involvement. Okay? Give them a voice. Challenge student government. What can students, parents, and the school working together do to prevent cyberbullying? That is an example of you pass it on to the student leaders to solve or to come up with the possible solutions to. You are empowering them. You are giving them a voice. Okay, the question here is, can you give an example for sticky situations? Sticky situation, for example, is awkward situation. You have a student who has been suspended, and then he or she is going to return to the class. Class, can we meet so that we will be able to help this person cope in spite of whatever he or she may have gone through? Sticky because there are some awkward things related to it. Or, for example, a student returnee, and you've experienced this, a student who left the school and then now is coming back. And we know that that student has caused problems in the past. It's a sticky situation because we need to make the best of the situation, even if we know there will be some awkward moments. But let's work together. Let's help the person. Let's do what we can to make sure that, well, that person will also not get into trouble again, even if because in the past, and then you make the students see the whole thing in a proper perspective. Okay, so any awkward situation can be a sticky situation that the class needs to discuss. The students have to be empowered to be able to come up with the best way of behaving in the face of such situation. Okay, have school-wide discussion with delegates from each classroom, ask students to take responsibility for a school-wide campaign. So these are all how steps that we can take in order to empower the students, give them a voice, and make them solve the problem of cyberbullying. Because in many cases, schools will tell you, "Ay, that's not our problem. It's a problem at home. It's something that is beyond us." Yes, but it involves someone who is part of your community, someone whom you can have authority over when he is inside your school. And therefore, let's work together to find a solution to it. In fact, now you cannot say, that's not a problem of the school. It is a problem of the school if the students involved are your students, if the people involved are your students. And so we will have to make sure it is addressed. There are certain things in place, and the parents know that you have put in place certain systems or certain parameters to make sure it is under control. Get students to take responsibility. Counselors can create anti-bullying intervention teams at each grade level. You see, because this thing of bullying, which is the complete opposite of a kind and caring classroom and kind and caring school, the it's the students themselves who are involved, and therefore they have to be the ones to find solutions to it, and therefore they are the ones who should be empowered to address it head on. So you can create intervention teams made up of students, or students made part of a team that will give emotional support to victims of bullying. That shows very clearly that you take this very seriously, that you cannot accept that someone wants to move out of your school because he or she feels a victim of bullying, and that he cannot or she cannot get help from anyone. No, there are students who are in place, who are empowered to provide emotional support, because that is most of the time what the victims of bullying need most: emotional support. And then to address the problem, to get to the root of the problem and be able to come up with solutions. Here's another strategy to involve students. Get the seniors, for example, to spend a day with a freshman to create a bonding experience, and that improves the climate, the school climate. The young students will now start seeing the senior students as their older brother, older sister, that they have older people to count on, to rely on, to run to for support, for friendship, for camaraderie. They become more excited to come to our school because they know, they feel the older ones have their back. So I, in all the schools I taught in Southridge School for 15 years. I taught in Northfield for 5 years. I founded a school in Iloilo City, Westbridge School. I worked in University of Asia in the Pacific. In all these schools, I also worked in Bannister Academy in its first 6 years. In all those schools, we put in place this thing of the older ones welcoming, orienting, making the freshmen, the younger ones, feel welcome. And it works. It creates a certain change in environment, in mindset, in attitude, in outlook, especially of the younger ones, when they start seeing the older ones as people they can count on, people they can rely on. So it works. And that is, among the students, it's very empowering. Older students are assigned as mentors to all freshmen. That's another strategy. Okay, we have somebody posting here about the big brother, big sister welcome, honoring and welcoming freshmen and new students. It works. It works. It creates a totally new um, atmosphere. And especially if it is done very well, the younger students become more excited to come to your school. Uh, and if they experience bullying from whoever, classmate, or they know they can ask the help of the older students, not to beat up the bully, but to give them moral support. And yes, if it is necessary, to be able to get the authority to step in and do something about that bullying experience. So older students are assigned as mentors to all. The school trains the mentors, and the mentors and their freshmen meet weekly. That's really making the students involved. Or if it is not a one person to one person, it can be a buddy class system. Section fourth year or grade 12, section A, being the buddy class of grade 10, section A, like that. No? And you have two classes acting as older brother and younger brother, older sister and younger sister. An older class is paired with a younger class. The buddy classes get together weekly or bi-weekly. They take lunch together. They take the break together. Or even better, they do schoolwork together. The older ones helping the younger ones. They do a special project together, etc. Here is a way to create a totally different atmosphere, especially among young kids. You give them this celebrating kindness challenge 1 whole week, and you challenge them to do as many of these challenges in celebration of kindness week. Of course, you cannot read, so let's zoom in. Look at what are some of the challenges that they can do. Smile at 25 people. I mean, come on, everybody can do that. Slip a nice note in your friend's backpack. Compliment 5 people. Pick up 10 pieces of trash on campus. Make a new friend. Tell a joke and make someone laugh. Be kind to yourself and eat a healthy snack, etc. So uh, every student can have this list, and they tick off as many as they are able to do. Let us take a look at some more. Giving a kind handshake to greet a classmate, recycle your trash, hug your friend, pick up trash outside your school, cut out 10 hearts and give them to friends, say good morning to 15 people, send a thank you to your superintendent, offer to help your custodian, your janitor, your maintenance man. Let's look at some more closely. Sit with a new group of kids at lunch. Read a book to a younger child. Give an apple or a note to your teacher. Step up for someone in need. Write a thank you on a band-aid for the nurse. Listen to your teacher for the first time. Whisper thank you to the librarian. And some more. Help someone up if they fall down. Lend a pencil to a friend. Learn to say hello in a new language, etc. I mean, can you imagine if you have 200 students in your campus trying to complete the challenge, trying to tick off as many as they can in that week? Can you imagine your campus in that week as everyone is celebrating kindness challenge, trying to do as many of these kindness acts as they can? That's a fantastic campus. That's a fantastic atmosphere. That is how we create a kind and caring school. Okay. So let's move on. The last secret. Student involvement, staff involvement. Yes, we've got to involve the parents. If we are to create a kind and caring school, parents have got to be involved. How do we involve them? Let's get ideas from Character Matters, the book of Dr. Thomas Licona, page 60. Here's the first thing. Communicate to parents. Parents are the first and most important character educators. The school's job is to reinforce the character virtues being taught at home. So then, how do we get them involved? Expect them in the first place to participate. We have to remove from the mind of some parents the idea that when they deposit their kids to the school, you are responsible, you do everything, you are the one who will have to do all the work. Nope, we expect the parents to participate because they are the primary educators of the children. In fact, what we are told by research is, parents are supposed to be the ones forming the character at home. By the time a kid reaches school age and comes inside your classroom, he or she should already have learned at home kindness, respect, hard work, courtesy, greeting, good morning, good afternoon. All those things should have been learned at home. Now, you and I, who are teachers, who have been teachers for decades, we know this. That's not many times what we see among the kids we have inside the classroom. So we have to be the ones to teach them, but let us not forget to make the parents realize that we expect them to participate in this character building task, that we expect them, in fact, to be the primary formators of character at home in the first place. Okay? So, how do we do that? Here, make sure the parents make sure the parents have uh, a document that talks about that you expect them to be the primary educators. I know schools like Paref Woodrow's, they even make the parents sign a contract, an agreement that they will live by the principles of the school, that they accept the fact that they are the primary educators of their children, that they, in fact, have to form the character of of their children. Let the parents know what your school is doing regarding character education. Let them know that you have virtue of the month, that you have talks on virtues, that you have commentary on the virtues, that you make them know this, that you put premium, in fact, that you emphasize character building, and that there are ways by which they can help. In the first place, for example, they can talk about the virtue of the month at home over dinner, uh, that they themselves, for example, push the same virtue of the month that the school is pushing at home over the dinner table, as an assignment that you give the students. So it's important to involve the parents in the activities, especially of the children. Our friend posted here. Now, cyberbullying, for example, happens at home. That is when the parents have to be very active in supervising, in making sure that their kids do not resort to cyberbullying at home, with a computer that the parents bought, with the Wi-Fi that the parents are paying for. That's why really they have to be very much involved, and that you expect them to be very much involved and to be very much on top of this concern. Um, Something, in fact, that I get scandalized about is, I think I mentioned this yesterday, when parents give their kids their own computer with their own Wi-Fi signal in their bedroom. Okay? When they do that, it's like they allow their kid, no matter at what age, they allow their kid to invite anyone to their bedroom. Anyone, including rapists and criminals, because that's how it is, right? When you have your own computer, your own Wi-Fi signal, they lock the door, and the parents are clueless about what the kid is doing with his computer. It's like they are allowed to invite inside their bedroom anyone, including immoral people. So parents should be given this, um, sometimes we say it's common sense, no? This strategy of making sure that computer is in a public place, in the living room, along the corridor, or in a study room where anyone has access, not in their bedroom that they can lock, and the parents are clueless about what the kid is doing. In the same way that parents need to be informed if you are going to invite your friends over and sleep in your bedroom. I mean, um, parents, in fact, are the ones who have to be first and foremost on top of these. No? So that's why your school should have um, write-ups like this being shared with the parents, your concerns being passed on to the parents, to do a memo, to do a a talk, a meeting, whatever it is. How else can you involve the parents? We are now in the last few minutes of this session. Well, every now and then you can come up with character education homework that will involve the parent and child independently, making a list of who are your five heroes, why, and then compare and discuss your lists or whatever it is. Try to come up with an assignment, a homework that will get the parents involved. And yeah, the assignment has a lot to do with character building, character formation. We teachers make a big difference. According to this sixth grade boy, I was a bully before I came to this school. I used to make little kids cry. When I met my teacher, Mrs. Brown, I changed. I'm not a bully anymore because Mrs. Brown taught me about character, about kindness, about caring. You see, we are in a position to make a difference. Do not underestimate your power as a teacher to form character, to mold minds, to make a difference, and to create a kind and caring classroom. We can do it. We are in a position to be able to do it. But in the first place, we have to model it. So we ask ourselves questions like this. Do I warmly greet each student? Zoom meeting, Google Classroom meeting, or face to face? Do I warmly greet each student? Do I seek other opportunities to connect with each student? Am I well prepared for my classes on time? Do I model patience and courtesy even when I am under stress? Do I treat all students impartially? And do I challenge all of them to do their best work? These are very good questions to ask ourselves as teachers. Here's another strategy that you can use inside the classroom. Anonymous compliments. Sorry, let's go back. Anonymous compliments. Each student draws the name of a classmate. By the week's end, the student writes an anonymous compliment about that person on a strip of paper, shows it to the teacher, and puts it in the compliment box. On Friday, the teacher posts all the compliments on the bulletin board. That creates a kind and caring classroom. Let's see. We have to mute some microphone. Okay. So here's another strategy: peers affirming peers. At the end of the day, you ask the kids, the students, who saw kindness today, who saw respect today, who saw determination, who saw sharing. And as students express this, I saw kindness when Joanna gave a paper to, when John helped Joey, when you are affirming, peers are affirming kindness done by their peers, respect shown by their classmates, etc. Creating a kind and caring classroom. All these contribute to that. At the start of the day, all students take out the good deeds journal and then they write a good deed I did yesterday and a good deed I will do today. We talked about this yesterday. Reflection paper, journal writing. These are very important things that we should make the students do, because all these are geared towards developing their mind and their mindset and their character. Whatever subject we're teaching, we can do that journal. No? Teaching courtesy. I teach my kids to greet and thank the cafeteria workers. The cafeteria staff say that they always know when my kids, my students, are coming through, because my students have a very high level of self-respect because of the respect that they show to other people. It becomes known. I mean, really, all these things that we do start becoming part of the environment, the climate, the school atmosphere. Okay, well, I don't have time anymore. We will have to end. I When I pass on to you the slide presentation, it will contain the last part that I did not get to discuss, which is 8 tips of Dr. Borba to foster empathy. Okay, which anyway, for those of you who will be with us tomorrow, that is part of the grit, resilience, and empathy. But before I end, again, the usual reminders. You're supposed to receive your certificate. I received 110 emails yesterday in the I want my certificate at gmail.com. And we already sent the certificates to you. Can I have a show of proofs here? Those of you who already received the certificate for yesterday's session, can you please type one in the chat box if you received your certificate for yesterday's session when you sent an email to I want my certificate at gmail.com. Okay, fantastic. I'm seeing a lot of ones here. And if you have not received it because you're waiting for your coordinator to be the one to send it to you, no problem. We will send it to your coordinator. But as I mentioned yesterday, unfortunately, some coordinators sent incomplete names, walang middle initial. So I hope you can send us the correct one by sending an email to I want my certificate at gmail.com, the complete name that you want to appear in the certificate, and then the title, okay? Because there are 7. Somebody asked here, can we receive it as one bundle? Yes, you can also receive it as one bundle. And if you don't receive your certificate by next week, if you don't receive the certificate, please send me an email here. I want my certificate at gmail.com so that we can send it to you. We cannot avoid human errors. No, sometimes one name is omitted or another. So if you have not received your certificate by next week, all of them, please send an email to I want my certificate at gmail.com with your full name and the title or titles of the seminars that you are asking for the certificate for. Can we also get the bundle certificates after the sessions? Yes, I already answered. Very good. I see a lot of ones. That means you already got. And if you are not yet in our Facebook group where you can download so many books, so many handouts, as well as the PowerPoint presentation of yesterday and of this one and of the next few days, then please look for us in Facebook, facebook.com/groups/better teachers. Please don't go to the other page, schools of character. There's another one with that heading, better teachers, better schools. But that one is for the series on schools of character. Look for this one, better teachers. Okay, the question of Ma'am Gina. We are just wondering why the certificate does not contain the CPD number because this is not a CPD accredited seminar as written in the letter of invitation. This is self-directed learning certificate of international seminar equivalent to 2 hours per seminar. Okay? I mean, we are not trying to fool you. From the very beginning, we did not declare that this is CPD accredited. It's very clear there that it is self-directed learning, but it's international seminar. And all the participants we've had since the past 2 years have managed to use these certificates to get 2 units per 2 hours of self-directed learning because it's signed by Dr. Thomas Licona as well as by myself, and it's equivalent to the 2 hours. I myself used my certificates to do my license renewal last year, and I used these certificates, and they were credited with 2 hours. Okay, um, yes. What else? Tomorrow, we proceed with resilience, grit, and empathy. If you're not registered for this and you want to join us, you're very much welcome. And it promises to be a very exciting one with more strategies to teach grit, resilience, and empathy inside the classroom. Okay, well, I have come to the end of this presentation, and like what we have done in the past seminar, I would like to invite you to turn on your screen for um, okay, to turn on your screen for a little picture taking. There are 9 pages of us again, so I invite you to turn on your video. Page 1, smile, and sorry, there are 9 pages, so you will just have to put on that widest, fakest smile that we will use to welcome our students on day 1. Page 3 with that smile of yours. 1, 2, and 3. Page 4. Smile. 1, 2, 3, and page 5. Smile. Turn on your videos if you want your coordinator to see your face and your smiling face. Pretend that you're very, very happy. Uh, so that your coordinator will think that it must have been a very good seminar. Page 7 now. 3 more pages left. Smile. 1, 2, and 3. And I'm also posting this in the Facebook page. Smile. 1, 2, and 3. And smile. 1, 2, and 3. Fantastic. Somebody commented here, I emailed yesterday, I have not received my certificate. Can you please check? You might have sent it to I want my certificates at gmail.com. Singular lang. I want my certificate at gmail.com. Please make sure you send it to that email. And then, what everybody claimed here, they already received their certificate. Great. Okay. Well, thank you very much to all of you for joining us today. I hope it has been a fruitful one for you. And I hope to be able to see you in our future seminars. Some of you may have missed yesterday's urgency of character formation. I think we're going to do a rerun of that in June, and so you can catch that one. Join us in the Facebook page where we will post all the other announcements of future seminars so that you can take advantage. Okay, thank you very much again. It's now 5:04. I went 4 minutes over time because of the pictorials, no? So, and I hope to see you in our future seminars. I'm going to end this meeting in 5, 4. Thank you, everyone. Please stay safe. Don't get sick like I did. I caught COVID. 3, 2, take care, and God bless. And 1, have a nice day, everyone. Bye.